Hey, it's Andrew here at BTO Range in Conroe, Texas. Today on the bench we have a commercial 98 Mauser pattern rifle made by Husqvarna in Sweden. Husqvarna model 640, which is a generic model catch-all. There were several submodels of the 640, but this one's chambered in 8x57 or 8mm Mauser. And customer checked it in for a general cleaning, general evaluation. So we're going to use this as a great example of how to take apart the typical Mauser action. And this is going to apply to most, if not all, of the 98 Mauser pattern rifles out there, including the military guns, the FN produced guns, the Browning Safari, things of that nature. So any of the cock-on opening Mauser actions will take apart the same way. The Swedes, a little bit different, but in any event, first thing we're going to do is clear this rifle out. So we're going to make sure that we don't have anything going on in here. We do not. There's a ton of dried grease and oil in there. It kind of looks like cosmoline. It's sticky enough to be cosmoline, so that might be it. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to bring this safety, this wing safety on this bolt to the mid position. So we're going to engage the action to where the striker is to the rear. We're going to put this up into the halfway position. So commercial Mausers that do not have this 3-position wing safety require the use of a tool or something to take the bolt apart. But if we have the rifle that has this military style wing safety, we can take it apart without using a coin or something to cam the striker back. That's what this position of the safety does. So now we can just move the bolt stop out to the side, bring the bolt out. We can set that dude over here to the side for a second. The floor plate on this gun, the bottom metal on this gun is 2 screws right here. So we can just pull these out. Again, screw slots, pay attention to screw slots to make sure your screwdriver blade is fitting those screw slots well so we don't turn out the slots and chip them out. And then they look horrible. We have to replace screws or recut slots and refinish the screws or any of the above. So we try to avoid doing that if at all possible. It's not the best screwdriver on the planet. Long screw to the rear. Then we're going to have a shorter screw up here in front. So the mission on this rifle for the customer is cleaning, overall evaluation of the rifle, see if it's safe to shoot. He did drop off some 8mm Mauser ammo that we have in stock, and he wants us to test fire the gun, so we'll get all that, make all that happen for him. Don't like how that's, there we go. So we have a lot of dried gunk and what have you on here, so we could actually release this floor plate, bring this out this way. We may do that here in just a bit, but with that gone, we can now, bottom metal out, we can separate the barreled action from the stock. That's unusual. Someone at some point has epoxied or otherwise affixed a, it looks like aluminum band in here with some kind of bedding device. I'm guessing is what their goal was for that, but okay. So to further evaluation, we just have a lot of finish wear. We have a lot of wear to the checkering. Both of our original sling swivels are here. These are Husqvarna. This plate is here. And the original butt plate with the Husqvarna logo on it is here. So a lot of wear, a lot of use. This is a 1950s gun is my best guesstimation on it, from the fact that it's a non-step receiver. It's got the Husqvarna emblem on the front receiver ring. So we believe it to be a 1950s gun. Further research may be able to tell us something different. We'll have to see. But in any event, we can set that off to the side. It's pretty good stock. The triggers on these guns are single stage triggers. still military pattern single stage trigger. If someone wanted to change that, they could. Did I not bring my, yeah I did right here. They could change that to a Timney trigger. A Timney 98 trigger will work just fine on that. So we can go ahead and pull this. The trigger unit, the trigger assembly is pinned to the receiver right here with this one pin. Sometimes they'll just push right out, but with the amount of dried grease and oil in here, it's probably going to need to be tapped out. Good. We got a little pin out there. We should be able to just bring this trigger unit off. It's got the spring here. This is your sear surface here. So it's just all fouled up with this dried. I keep trying to say cosmoline. It may well be cosmoline. I'm not 100% sure. So the only other thing to take out would be this, the bolt stop. And it's just held in place by this screw. We can, it's an interesting screw. It's got a taper in it, which is going to help in reassembly. There's a stout little spring under here. Push it through. There we go. See, this taper on the screw is going to help us when we go to put that back together, because we have this, this is the ejector. The ejector is a fixed ejector that rides with this as well. So all that's in there. So now this is stripped out, and we've already looked at the bore. It's got grease and oil and dirt and dust in it, but we can defeat that for sure. So that's as stripped out as that needs to be. The only thing left to do would be to pull the sights and pull the barrel anyway, and we don't need to do either of that. So we can disassemble this bolt a little bit further. With the safety in this, in the mid position, we can push this detent in and just begin unscrewing this bolt assembly, or the entire striker assembly, and get it out of the bolt. Well, we don't want to, we want to make sure we leave that in that mid position. So once we get past the bolt handle, it'll just come straight out like that. Now, oh, that's horrible. So yeah, that definitely needs to be cleaned. We could take the extractor off of it simply by bringing it to this mid position where it's not in line with either the locking lugs, and then we can push this up off of the, out of this groove right here, and then forward off of there, and we probably should go ahead and do that. It's retained, this collar is its own spring, this collar right here that rides into a dovetail groove in this particular lug. So to put that back together, we would put it back on the bolt, line these two grooves up, compress this to line it up in here, and then press the extractor back into place rearward. There's nothing retaining it back here at all. So to remove, to go further on this, the military rifle had a takedown disc in the stock that you would put the end of the firing pin into, and then it's just a matter of pushing this down, rotating this to here, and now we can release the firing pin. This is the firing pin spring cocking piece, and then the shroud with the safety. So the safety can further be removed from this gun by bringing it over to this position and working it out of its spot. So that's a disassembled bolt in the Mauser 98. So the plan for this now is to, we're going to run all this into the ultrasonic cleaner, let it run a couple of cycles in the ultrasonic, and then we're going to come out and we'll get the extractor off this bolt, and we'll actually polish out the bolt to a degree. And I need other tools from my bench to get that off without, you can cut your fingers pretty good on this extractor. It can be sharp. So I'm going to use some other tools from the bench to take that off of there. But I believe it's going to clean up pretty nicely once we get all this dried oil and stuff out of there. We'll measure this spring to make sure that it's still good to go. If not, these are being remade. And it's a good idea on this gun. It's got to be 60 years old at least. So it probably wouldn't hurt to replace this spring. We'll talk to the customer, see if he wants to do that. But the firing pin still looks good. We always want to make sure that we're not broken here on the firing pin. The good news is it's a Mauser 98 firing pin, so they're being remade. They are available. This is a commercial one, so it's not as rough or nasty as you would think in a Mauser piece. So other than that, that's a standard 98 Mauser bolt in all aspects. Unlike the military bolt, it's not numbered to the receiver, and we'll check the headspace on it when we get it back together and cleaned up. We have to clean the chamber and the bore before we check headspace on it, and we'll check headspace without that extractor on. So we'll make sure that that's all right and good to go. And then once we have that cleaned up, put back together, headspace checked, we'll shoot it, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work just fine. So 8mm Mauser is a great round. It's drilled and tapped on the top. It wasn't factory drilled and tapped, but it's been correctly drilled and tapped for for a scope mount, two-piece scope mount. And on this particular action, there's no stripper clip hump like you would see on the other military style Mauser action, so that makes scoping it a little bit more straightforward than having to deal with a mount that cleared that stripper clip hump. So just about whatever could be put on there. 8 Mauser is a great round. It gives you pretty close, well, it's definitely 308 ballistics, if not closer to 30-06 with a little bit heavier bullet. So great little round, underappreciated in the States, I think, but this is a Husqvarna 640, 98 Mauser pattern rifle, and that's how you take that bolt apart. And we'll get it cleaned up and get it back to the customer. If you like what we're doing, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We try to post stuff every week. If you have a suggestion or idea or something that you want us to take a look at, either from the historical side or from the taking apart repair side, let us know. We'll try to make that happen for you. And thanks for watching as always. We'll see you next time.